Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ghost Rider Vlog. Alrighty, kicking it right off again today. We are looking at Marvel Spotlight number 11. This particular one is titled The Spells of the Witch Woman, and again features the Witch Woman from the previous book. And I would again say that the cover looks pretty damn terrible. We got a completely white sky. Most of this book takes place at night. We have a really terrible looking, I suppose, Satan, Mephisto, whichever name you would prefer to call him, because he does later call himself Mephisto. Sitting there with a derpy purple robe, and he just doesn't look all that menacing. Witch Woman looks alright. The bike looks alright. And the Ghost Rider on a bike and the little logo by the title looks alright. But the Ghost Rider himself on the cover looks like a deer caught in the headlights. And I understand he's being hit, but why that look? It looks absolutely silly and just kind of takes away from it even more. So yeah, the cover is a bit disappointing again. However, let's go on to the plot before we explore too much of what's going on inside. So we pick up where we left off, which is Witch Woman shutting out threats, but immediately picks up with her also already attacking Ghost Rider. To which he wants to understand why she feels the need to constantly attack him the way she is right now. To which she is willing to tell him her backstory, but first she uses her powers to make fire braces to keep him pinned to the wall. He keeps interrupting as she tells her story, so she also makes a fire gag for him. Also, the entire time she's doing this, she's also explained to him that if he actually practices powers, he would be able to make objects out of fire much the way she is right now. So we're kind of sort of uncovering a new power that he could eventually be doing himself. But essentially, Linda Littletree, aka the Witch Woman, is explaining that she was an alright innocent girl up to about a year ago when she ran off to college because she was considered one of the brightest people in her tribe and had to leave the reservation in order to pursue further schooling. To which her roommate was a Satan worshipper and tricked her into joining Satan about a couple months in, and then sacrificed her to Satan, essentially. And that's how she was killed, sent to hell, and began to learn her powers because she was supposed to be, I guess you'd call it a handmaiden to Satan, and she's now being used as a weapon as well. Essentially, in particular for this moment right now, apparently neither her father nor her boyfriend slash maybe fiance know about this yet. So this is kind of on a whim off the top, out of nowhere kind of a deal here. No one else except for Johnny Blaze now knows about the fact that she was a witch, or controlled by Satan. And as she gets really passionate at the end about her death, her powers do lack their focus and control, and Johnny is able to free himself. He quietly gets away before hopping on his bike and then zips off. Having failed Satan, she is going to be killed by Satan, but Satan has another plan since she was begging for mercy, and she actually killed herself in front of Johnny Blaze, possibly in an attempt to try and get Johnny to be all down in the dumps about all this. And that's more or less where we leave off. The next spotlight will again feature Ghost Rider, but it's also supposed to be a first spotlight book for Son of Satan. But we will cover it anyway, since it is apparently important to the plot. So, next one will be the last spotlight for Ghost Rider, and the books afterwards would be his own original series. So, with that in mind, the goods and the bads. We already covered the cover. The cover is pretty weak sauce, and I find it relatively silly that someone who is supposed to be killing another person would get so into a story that their own magical abilities would start to fall apart because they're not paying attention, and the guy they're trying to kill escapes. Again, it seems to be the one single weak point in the narrative, other than the fact that she's explaining things and she's doing such a long-winded attempt at it. I've heard of monologues, but holy smokes, she's not even just doing monologues, she's also doing spectral images so Johnny can see the things that are happening. She didn't even need to be talking or getting into it, she just needed to show him. I don't know. Other than that, though, I will say, yet again, just like the last book, there are some weak plot points, but the overall story is pretty decent. The cover is rubbish, but again, the inside artwork is good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to actually take a screenshot of the inside cover, just so you guys can see how much better just being on the inside of this is. And I'm going to print screen. And I'm going to actually save this right now. You're already seeing it, like, probably over here or over there. But this is what the inside cover looks like. And isn't it so much better than that original outside cover? Again, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the artwork, but holy smokes, I think they need to give the inside artists the freaking cover from now on. If that's the kind of work their cover artists are going to be making, they're going to scare people away from the book instead of bringing them into it. But, that's pretty much it for this episode. Supplemental. Cutting off the end of the previous episode a little bit, just to let you guys know. I have read the final Spotlight, so technically this is Spotlight number 11 and 12. Spotlight number 12 is definitely heavily focusing on the character Son of Satan. And yes, he is a regular character in the Marvel Universe, and he's actually appeared alongside many other characters, including Howard the Duck. This is very much a additional information kind of an episode. I mean, it's here to try and explain at least a little bit of background for the Son of Satan character, even though it doesn't really go into his creation too heavily. They're probably actually saving that for his actual book, which I believe did happen for at least a short while. However, the basic idea is that we're trying to get some information that we didn't have time for in the next couple of episodes of Ghost Rider, or the next two books, rather. So what this is essentially, it's a Son of Satan-focused informational follow-up to what will happen between number 2 and number 3 in the actual Ghost Rider run. So that's about it. So there's not much else to really explain about it, other than the fact that if you really want to, I guess it looks alright. It's not exactly a heavily needed book, but it's there just more or less to have completeness, I guess. So, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Good night, and I'll see you all later.